I'm, I'm stunned with the suggestion that was made by one of our colleagues moments ago with the involvement of one of our witnesses, to the effect that Justice Alito used textualism and originalism as a pretext in order to uphold reprehensible voting practices. This simply is not true. Not only is it not true, but I believe that statement was made with reckless disregard for its truthfulness. If you're going to come in here and assail one of the finest jurists that's ever served on the highest court of this country, you better be prepared for it. Look, you might disagree with the decision as far as a policy outcome. You might even disagree with the way he read it. I don't. He got it right. But don't come in here and say that because you disagree with it, you think he's using it as a veneer, as a pretext to getting away with something reprehensible. That's not fair. That's not accurate. You cheapen this entire process when you do that. So I hope that those who made that suggestion will apologize and retract what they said, because it is wrong. Not just factually incorrect, but it's morally wrong. Don't do that. That's not what happened. You know that's not what happened. Now look, we've been told repeatedly, over and over again, that the last election was the biggest election turnout in history. We've been the most diverse electorate in history. And yet feverish cries of discrimination in voting have been relentless and are reaching a feverish pitch, so much so that they're causing people to depart not only from the facts and the law, but from basic standards of human decency. In light of overwhelming proof that minorities are voting and that they're voting in record numbers, I'm completely baffled by the hysteria of the left over the state of voting in this country. I see no evidence demanding a federal takeover of elections, nor do I see any authority to do what they are doing. The Constitution, whether you like it or not, is something that we've all sworn an oath to uphold and protect and defend. We can't just treat it as if it were some inconvenient truth. It is not. It is the law. And it doesn't empower us to take over elections. Likewise, the vast majority of Americans support common sense reforms to election laws, requiring voter identification, banning ballot harvesting, securing drop boxes, and yet the left has lost its mind because the Supreme Court has held that common sense reforms in Arizona do not violate the Voting Rights Act. And they don't. The text makes that very clear. Certainly, it cannot be that any voting requirements are unacceptable, and yet that's exactly what we've heard ad nauseum from the left since day one of this Congress. And it's to the point that an activist DOJ has taken to harassing the states by bringing frivolous cases against them for trying to do what Americans have asked them to do, to make it easier to vote and harder to cheat. So if we're told that we cannot make even these basic reforms to ensure the integrity of our elections, that none of our votes mean anything and that we're all disenfranchised. I want every legitimate vote to count, and that cannot happen if we refuse to allow states to make these common sense, non-discriminatory reforms to secure elections. That is, make no mistake, what this is about. And look, you can't step in and try to impose what really would amount to a de facto nationwide pre-clearance standard and expect that that's going to pass constitutional muster. Much as people were trying to characterize this as if we were living in the immediate post or post-Jim Crow era, that is not where we are. The very same practices that prompted pre-clearance and the need for pre-clearance in the 1960s are not there. Section 2 is still in place for when actual instances of discrimination take place. And those are adequate remedies. I have yet to hear a single explanation from any advocate of H.R. 4 as to why those are inadequate. I have yet to see a single shred of evidence indicating that there are so many Section 2 cases mounting and going unaddressed and unresolved as to warrant de facto nationwide preclearance. We can't let this happen. It's not constitutional. And the arguments that we've just heard about Justice Alito are patently wrong and unfair. Thank you.